Welcome to the American Cancer Society 80% by 2018 Colorectal Cancer Initiative Overview. In this short video, we'll go over what the initiative is all about, why we can make a difference, what you need to know about colorectal cancer, and what steps you can take to finish the fight. In March 2014, the American Cancer Society, the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and many other organizations launched a major initiative to increase colorectal cancer screening rates in the United States. The 80% by 2018 initiative is a movement in which hundreds of organizations have committed to substantially reducing colorectal cancer as a major public health problem, and are working toward the shared goal of having 80% regularly screened for colorectal cancer by 2018. In order to achieve this goal, we need help at every level to spread the word about the importance of colorectal cancer screening. So, exactly how common is colorectal cancer? Excluding skin cancers, colorectal cancer is the third most commonly diagnosed cancer in both men and women in the United States. But how many people actually die of colorectal cancer? Colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death in both men and women in the United States. The good news is, colorectal cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable. It can be prevented by finding and removing polyps before they become cancerous. It is highly treatable if found in its early stages, and nearly 1.2 million people who have been diagnosed with colorectal cancer are living in the United States. So, who gets colorectal cancer? Well, the largest groups at risk of the disease are men and women over the age of 50. The single biggest factor in developing colorectal cancer is simply getting older. Younger adults can develop colorectal cancer too, but the chances increase markedly after age 50. In fact, about 9 out of 10 people diagnosed with colorectal cancer are at least 50 years old. You can see that there are also some differences in frequency of the disease in different races and ethnic groups. The reasons for these differences are very complex. The American Cancer Society is focused on achieving health equity, meaning every individual should have equal access to screening and treatment. We are also proud that, over the last decade, incident rates have dropped at least 1% per year among men and women of nearly every major racial and ethnic group, so we are making progress. But the gap of colorectal cancer screening rates is largely a health equity issue. College-educated adults already have an 80% screening rate, so 80% by 2018 is really an issue about getting everyone else to the same level. So, you can't change your age, but what can you do to decrease your risk? Well, first of all, we can take care of ourselves. We are often very busy taking care of others, and we can neglect ourselves in the process. If you are 50 years or older, that means making sure you get screened. Additionally, the American Cancer Society's guidelines for overall healthy living can not only help reduce your risk for colorectal cancer, but following these guidelines can help make you healthier and can help lower your risk of other diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and other cancers. So, it's all those things that we know we should do, right? Stay at a healthy weight, be physically active, eat a healthy diet, limit alcohol, avoid tobacco products, know yourself, your family history, and your risk, and if you are 50 or older, get screened for colorectal cancer. Why is screening so important? Colorectal cancer is often highly treatable. If it's found and treated early, while it's small, and before it has spread, the 5-year survival rate is about 90%. But because many people do not get tested regularly, only about 4 out of 10 are diagnosed at this early stage, when treatment is most likely to succeed. Colorectal cancer is one of the few cancers that can be prevented through screening by detecting and removing precancerous polyps, and screening is working. Incident rates have dropped 24% in the United States in the last 10 years among adults 50 and older. In the simplest terms, this means people aren't developing these cancers at the same high rates as in the past, partly because more people have been getting screened. There are some misconceptions about screening for colorectal cancer. Some people believe that there is only one type of screening test, the colonoscopy, but there are actually several screening options, and the tests do not have to be expensive. There are simple, affordable take-home tests available, and colorectal cancer screening, including a colonoscopy, is a covered insurance benefit under the Affordable Care Act's Preventative Services section, in many cases with no out-of-pocket costs. The American Cancer Society recommends that beginning at age 50, men and women should talk to their doctor about testing options and get screened for the early detection of colorectal cancer and polyps. So, why aren't people getting screened? While many Americans in general are not getting the recommended screenings, there are certain groups that are lagging behind more than others. There are various barriers for some groups to getting screened. These include affordability, a misconception that a person does not need to get screened if they don't have symptoms or a family history, other competing health priorities, fear, no recommendation from a healthcare provider, and language and cultural barriers. A number of American Cancer Society-funded researchers are currently working on new ways to address these barriers and help groups that are falling behind to catch up on potentially life-saving colorectal cancer screening tests. The American Cancer Society has worked with the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable and the CDC to develop new tested messages that resonate with the unscreened. Check out these and other resources at nccrt.org. The three most important messages to take away today are: 1. Colorectal cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but it is the third leading cause of cancer death in both men and women in the United States, and second in the US for men and women combined. 2. There are several screening options available, including take-home options. Individuals should talk to their doctor about which option is best for them. And 3. It doesn't have to be expensive. Getting screened can be life-saving. The bottom line is the best colorectal cancer screening test is the recommended test that you'll actually do, and sooner rather than later. Get screened. Call your doctor today. What else can you do to help defeat colorectal cancer? Well, you can already check off one thing. Consider yourself informed as of today. And second, we want you to lead by example. So if you're 50 or older, get screened. Talk to your doctor about the right screening for you. Next, talk about it. Talk to your family, friends, and coworkers about the importance of colorectal cancer screening and encourage them to talk to their doctor about getting tested. You can also find other opportunities to discuss it with groups of individuals, at work, church, PTA, book club, and of course, within your community. And finally, nothing gets a point across as well as a story. If you have a story about colorectal cancer, say if you are a colorectal cancer survivor or have been spared that diagnosis because you were screened and had a polyp removed, or if you know someone else with the story, please share it. The unscreened are less likely to have had a personal connection with someone who has cancer. By letting them know about your experience, you just might be able to convince the unscreened that the risk is real, but that they can do something about it. Thousands of lives are on the line as this cancer is highly treatable in its early stages and can be prevented altogether with proper testing. Help us finish the fight by reaching 80% by 2018. If you'd like more information on colorectal cancer, please visit our website, www.cancer.org/colon, or call 1-800-227-2345 to speak with one of our cancer information specialists. Thank you for taking the time to participate in this 80% by 2018 Colorectal Cancer Initiative overview, and for all that you are doing to finish the fight against cancer.